Good morning, everybody. Mike Naso here from Internet Partnership Radio with an update on our two tropical systems in the Atlantic Basin, Tropical Storm Isaac and Tropical Depression 10. When we take a look out there right now, you can clearly see our two systems. This is Isaac over here, coming closer to the Lesser Antilles, forecast to be a potent hurricane and impact much of Hispaniola, maybe eastern Cuba, and head up towards the United States. We also have our new Tropical Depression 10 out here, which is forecast to become Tropical Storm Joyce and then strengthen slowly but steadily as it moves on off towards the west and west-northwest. Now, as we get right to Isaac, since that is our main feature, I did want to note this: the 11 a.m. advisory is at 15.9 north, 59.3 west. Winds were only 45 miles per hour. It looks stronger on satellite, but in actuality, it's not quite that intense yet. Gusting to 60, is moving west quickly at 20, 1,006 millibars, and it is forecast to move through the islands tonight, and then tomorrow be strengthening, and by the time Friday comes along, be a hurricane, a strong Category 1, making landfall in the Dominican Republic, exiting back out over water as a tropical storm, going right up the spine of Cuba here in eastern Cuba, and then making that move towards the Florida Keys sometime Sunday night into Monday as, again, a Category 1 hurricane, but there is a great deal of uncertainty once we move past Friday. It looks like it'll be strengthening steadily into a hurricane before landfall, but exactly how much land interaction will play a huge role in the intensity. If the system takes the more northern track, it could be much stronger down the road for the United States. If it takes the much southern track here, it could be much stronger as well. However, in the middle, it could be weaker, but it could also avoid land and be stronger in the short term, and then stronger in the long term if it moves out, say, late Friday night north of Hispaniola as a strong tropical storm and spends more time over water. There are so many possibilities that there is a great deal of uncertainty with the intensification of the system. Right now, the best guess would be that a hurricane will impact Hispaniola and a hurricane will impact Florida, but exactly where and exactly how strong is yet to be seen. Oh, I did want to note the watches and warnings because we have a whole bunch of them. We have a tropical storm warning for Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, and the surrounding islands, and St. Martin, St. Kitts, Nevis, Antigua, Barbuda, Montserrat, Anguilla, Saba, St. Eustatius, and St. Martin, British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Vieques, Culebra, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. That's a tropical storm warning. We have a hurricane watch for Puerto Rico, Vieques, Culebra, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, the south coast of the Dominican Republic, and the Haiti-Dominican Republic southern border. We also have a tropical storm watch for the north coast of the Dominican Republic, from Haiti-Dominica Republic northern border eastward to the north area of Isla Sonia. So, bear with me there. We do have quite a lot of warnings because this system is going to impact quite a lot of land areas. There is the visible, and you can see the center of circulation is in this area here. There does seem to be some dry air intrusion, and I'll show you on the shear map, it's not quite perfectly lined up with the high pressure aloft, so it is getting a little bit of shear, but not much. Overall, a large cyclone, which could also take longer to get together, but that heavy rainfall will be very bad news for many islands. There's the infrared, clearly a menacing looking system, but again, it's got more bark than bite right now as we wait to see when it will consolidate and become a hurricane. Once that happens, it's all a matter of, well, how much land interaction is there. If there's more, it will be weaker. If there's less, it will be stronger. There's the model guidance, clearly taking it in the direction of Hispaniola, eastern Cuba, and Florida, although earlier today some of the models were hinting that maybe it's going to strike Hispaniola and then move more northwesterly towards the eastern coast of Florida. And if that were the case, we'd have a problem. You can see the GFDL takes it to a strong hurricane right off the coast of Florida, and then you can see it takes it right into landfall there towards the Jacksonville area, 955 millibars. That's a very serious storm. The Canadian model is way far to the east and takes it all the way into North Carolina, and then you can see our other system behind it after that. So we're going to watch this very carefully in the United States. But right now, the Florida Keys, South Florida, start getting your plan in place for what you do if Isaac makes its way towards you. Here's TD10 as of 11 a.m. First advisory, 12.4 north, 36.3 west, winds 35. It should become Tropical Storm Joyce by later tonight. It's moving west-northwest at 16 very quickly, 1,007 millibars, and you can see the forecast here through time is for a gradual bend to the north, but some models do want to take this further north and out to sea, including the ensembles, which turn it directly out. And others want to keep it, such as the H-Wharf, more towards the Bahamas in the longer range. So we will keep an eye on this one very carefully. There's the models, and you can see most of them indicate that this will not strike land except possibly Bermuda, while others say no, it's going to be weaker and much more of a threat down the road. Right now, it depends on exactly how much interaction it has with an upper level low that will approach it when it gets near the islands. You can see it's looking more organized, but still some stable clouds here. A lot of dry air out there. That's really an inhibiting factor for a lot of those systems, but you can see the center there of what will likely become Tropical Storm Joyce in the next 12 to 24 hours. Now the wind shear is what's going to be the issue for this system, because there's the center of Isaac right here. Our depression's off screen, and you can see right underneath this anticyclone is very favorable conditions. Right up and around, ventilation, good for a hurricane. But right now that ventilation is sort of interfering with the center of Isaac, because its center is to the east of where the anticyclone center is. See what I mean? So if Isaac gets underneath this more, once it gets over these waters, we could see significant strengthening. Here's a better look at that. The center of Isaac, of course, here are the islands here, and Isaac is still off over in this direction, which means it has shear coming in of about 10 knots over the top of it. If it moves just a little bit more under this cyclone and catches up with it, it will be in a much more favorable position. You can see lower shear tendencies here for our depression, but they will increase as it interacts with an upper feature to the northeast of the Leeward Islands, and once that happens it might weaken. However, we might also have an upper low cut off from the outflow of Isaac once it's moving up towards Florida, which could also impact it. Remember Hannah and Gustav in 2008, the interaction there? Same type of deal, so we're going to have to watch very carefully our two systems. There's our depression, looking a little elongated, but still has a center of circulation. More waves over Africa we're going to keep an eye on, but right now nothing there to be concerned about. I'm Mike Naso from Internet Partnership Radio. Stay tuned for the latest on Isaac.